How much?
Oh,
that's weird. Go back to the other one. There you go. That's better. Don't do that.
The wrong button there.
Do some Brady Bunch stuff. So Bill is missing because, stupid Bill had to go work on restaurants again. So he had an emergency service call and he had to go to work. So,
yeah.
Or did he?
Or did he? Yeah, he's really just sending us fake videos that he shot earlier in the day because he's just sitting at home eating Twinkies.
He went on a plumbing call.
Yeah. And then he'll have to talk about it another day. We can't talk about it too much, but it's a really interesting call too. Crazy. So what is new with you guys, man?
Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead, buddy.
So are you just checking out, Joe? Joe's just like not here today.
I think Joe's mad at me. He was in a bad mood yesterday.
Yeah. I confronted Joe's bad mood in our chat. Joe why he's so upset all the time.
It's all stressors, man. Stressors. You guys are my venter too.
Stressors.
Yeah, you were like, fuck you, Adam.
Yeah, you really are venting. That's right.
Fuck you and that.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. I'm like, whoa, Joe.
Yeah, Howard Sharp in the chat says 68 degrees here in SoCal. That is absolutely correct. It is 68 degrees today, all day. It is cold. We don't know what to do. This is ridiculous.
Call the army.
I saw this morning. I saw John Israel made a post on Facebook, and he said, "I'm freezing out here. I can't do it. I'm so cold." And I made a comment. I said, "What's the temperature there?" And he said, 35 with a 27-degree wind chill. I'm like, 27-degree wind chill. I'm like, dude, I don't even put my sweatshirt on in weather like that.
That's funny.
Advanced refrigeration, 37 in Texas.
Yeah. I heard they were getting some cold stuff out there. So
I wonder if he was still wearing his Crocs in that weather.
I'm a little worried about when I go to Florida for the symposium. I'm worried it's going to be cold. I might have to take a sweatshirt because it is that time of year where Florida gets like right now. I think I saw someone post that it was like in the 40s this morning or something. And it's like, yeah, it's getting cold out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our days here where it like goes up and down, but average it's like 65, 70 degrees here. So we can't really complain too much.
I mean, the way I feel, it's probably the same with Joe. Like once summer hits, you're good. And when it starts getting cold and you first get the first cold day, you're like, man, I'm not ready for this. I can't handle it. But by the end of winter, you're fine.
Yeah.
And then you get your first like 50-degree day and you're wearing like a t-shirt and shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this winter is not too bad with all this bullshit going on in the weather situation. We're not getting too much snow lately. We got one big dump, and that's about it so far.
I took a big dump this morning.
Nice.
Kind of hurt.
Is that what you
I feel
were
like I ate too
us?
much cheese. Yeah, it's a little difficult.
You woke up a little early this morning, too.
I did. I woke up too early. I had a meeting this morning, so my whole body was just thrown off. So,
you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know it's a little controversial, but 2 nights ago,
I got my finger on the dump button. Okay, so
I got my COVID booster shot.
Yeah,
and yesterday, dude, it was downhill. I like the whole day. I felt worse and worse all day long.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that people did mixed back and forth. My family just got over COVID, and it sucked. Like, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. We're not going to go into all the politics and crap like that. But I'm glad to kind of get it over with. Like for now, whatever. At least we got it done. Hopefully, we don't get it for another couple months or something. So, I don't know.
Just want to.
Yeah,
that's all. Just want to travel.
So this week we had like a bunch of stressful crap happening at work. Just stupid.
Joe,
stuff,
is your mic on?
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
Oh, I dropped a plate. Don't mind me.
Oh, okay. Just a lot of people customers making dumb service calls and stupid mistakes. And it's just like, frustrating, man. There's days, and Adam and I talk about this, but man, there's days that I just don't even want to own a company anymore. I really don't. But then tomorrow I'll change my mind and I'll be happy again.
Right.
Like it's just a roller coaster up and down.
Yeah.
But it's funny in chat. Bill is always on the union wagon. I'm trying to sway Adam this way. Adam, you got owning a bit. It's such a good accomplishment. That trying to sway him the other way. It's like just being both sides in the chat's funny.
I don't understand. There was someone that recently did a post in one of the groups, and I don't even know what group it was, but it was a union non-union post, and it got so nasty so quick. Like, who
Why?
gives a crap? Like, people ask me all the time, they're like, should I go union or not? And I go, do what's best for you and your family. Like, bottom line, that's it. There's no, you don't got to get political. There's good and bad techs, union or non-union. Like, whatever's best for you and yours. That's all that matters. Like, why do people have to get so nasty? Like, people get so defensive. And then it's funny in the comments, one person says, well, I tend to see more non-union people bitching about union. And then the other person says, no, I see more union people bitching about non. It's like, guys, you guys are dumb.
Can't we all be friends?
If you guys are genuinely hating each other because one person is union and one person's not, you are dumb. Like, I'm sorry, but you are dumb. Like, straight up.
That's funny.
It doesn't matter if someone's union. They're doing what's best for them if they choose that. Who gives a fuck?
I'm friends with union guys. Speaking of which, a few weeks ago, I was running a call on I don't know, Saturday or Sunday in Chicago. And the company truck I took was not my truck. It was one of the other guys usually use it, and he takes his tools off every day. And I wasn't paying attention. I just grabbed my tool bag, but I didn't grab my manifold.
Oh.
And I drove an hour into the city, and I go to grab the manifold. I'm like, there's no manifold. And we're supposed to be pulling the charger in the system, fixing a leak, and recharging it. I'm like, oh, my God.
Did you go buy one?
No,
you didn't do that.
I actually called up union friend, Ren Pavich.
Nice.
And about 5 in his truck?
Yeah, he did. He honestly did. And he's like, dude, I'm 5 minutes from you right now. Swing over and pick it up.
Sweet.
Cool.
That's cool. Ren helped you out, man.
Yeah.
Cool
that you said that, because I think in the HVAC Overtime group, Will, like, he's always with us. I think can't make it with tonight. But anyways, he met somebody, I think, in the same facility as him through the group. And he didn't even know. It was pretty cool. On his post, he made a post about suiting up for this clean room.
Yeah.
They started talking, and he's like, what the fuck? You work at the same place around the same area as I do. I was like, wow, it's nuts.
Yeah. In my personal service truck, I have all kinds of manifolds. I have smart probes. I what flavor do I want to use today? Let me look around. You know what I mean? But in this truck, it was just the one S-man.
So I keep a field piece S-man, like the four port one. And then I keep a set of job link probes, the smart probes. And then I do have a backup manifold. I have that stupid testo manifold that we tested, that we all had. I have that thing sitting in my van. I've never used it since I tested it, but it's just my emergency backup one. It sits behind a shelf and it's just there. But I always like having a backup. And I also keep, I have an extra scale in my van, because there's nothing worse than your scale dying and you not being able to finish charging something. So I keep an extra scale, and I keep an extra leak detector.
I know you had the field piece. What other scale do you have? I forgot. I can't remember.
I have, I grabbed it from one of my guys that left. I think it's the old CPS one, that old black whatever case one. I just threw that in my truck just as like a backup one. But I use the field piece one all the time. But I will say there's times when you get on a roof, if they have radio interference, the field piece wireless will start acting wonky. And I've had it happen like 2 times. Not enough to not use it, but it's like every once in a blue moon you get where they have, and it starts to make you think too. I'm like, those radio frequency waves are going through my balls right now. What is going on here? Like,
I actually don't have as many manifolds and ways of testing pressure that I used to. I gave a bunch of them away. I had the Yellow Jacket, what were those called? The Mantooth.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
I gave those away.
The touchscreen doesn't work or whatever. Like,
no, it's actually not. It's got wired clamps on they're goofy. I gave that away a couple of years ago to somebody. Mike.
Oh, I think I remember. That was that came out after the DigiCool one, didn't it?
Yeah, the screen. Yeah.
There's no screen. You use your phone on it, but it was like one of the first ones that you use your phone.
Oh no, you're talking about the wireless probes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
So I gave those away, and another one I gave away recently, which I'm kind of irritated about, to Bill, is the Sporlan Smart Probes.
Oh, speaking of that, I'm supposed to send. I have a giant backpack full of iManifold stuff that I was supposed to send to Bill, and I forgot about it. I need to send that.
Bill was all excited about it. He couldn't figure out how to get him to work. And then you gave him the Testo ones. He's like, yeah, I'm never using these again. I'm using the Testo. I'm like, could you send them back to me, please?
I know. I want to know what people are thinking about the new Testos 550S, the new ones. Screen, LCD screen?
550S, yeah,
Yeah.
550S.
How are guys dealing with the screen and the cold? That's what I want to know. How
Why?
are
Yeah,
They're not working well in the cold?
it's working, but I have a feel. I never had the field piece. I'm thinking the field piece, from what I see, has no issues, but this one seems like it has a little bit of.
How does it does your does the guy that I sent the 550i, does he use that? Does he even like it, or
the 550i? I didn't
the
give
wireless thing? Remember that
I
wireless
still
thing?
didn't give it to him yet.
See, this guy just took it from you.
I still didn't give it to him yet. I'm being honest.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I could care less.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm being honest. I didn't give it to him yet. As well
Real
as the
nice.
probes. I still have them. They're right here.
Well, yeah, you can keep it, man. I don't give a crap.
No, it's for him. He bought
For
them.
him, I've had him for 8 months now.
I know. I think guys. I think he forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another
smoking
one.
deal, Chris.
I gave away those Testos that we got, and we Chris was nice enough to send out. I gave those away on the show.
That
actually,
was huge. That was a huge giveaway. That was like what, 5 manifolds or something?
I don't even remember that. Did we give them away on the show?
Yeah, we did a huge giveaway, like 5 or 3 or I don't know what
Did
it
I?
was.
Oh, did I send them?
You
to
and
people
Ted,
or
I
something?
believe.
Oh, I
That
do
was
remember
huge.
that. I think I remember buying a bunch of manifolds. Speaking of this is something that Adam and I were talking about. We were talking about this. So one of my things this year is I need to get better at money. Because I got a little crazy this last year, like giving crap away. And I know people like getting stuff for free, but I am so bad when it comes to buying things. Like Adam and I, before the show, we were talking and I was like, dude, I think I'm going to buy these microphones. And I'm like, dude, I don't need to buy $400 in microphones. Like, stop. Like, I need to stop doing that. And I spend money. I don't know. My poor family, they want to like, oh, can we go do this? I'm like, yeah, we can't afford that because I just bought a bunch of tools.
You know what? Speaking of the tool review channel, are we ever going to make another video?
We have to. We got to get on board and make one.
Dude, the subscribers keep coming. Like, I get emails all the time.
I know.
I get like $9 a month from that channel or something like that.
You deserve it. It's okay.
Well, yeah, that's right. The debt, because the whole thing, when I bought all those manifolds for all the guys, I bought everybody manifolds and stuff. And I said, okay, so here's the deal. We were all supposed to start working on that channel. And then like we would pay off the manifolds and then I would start sharing the revenue with them. But
that was like the only video we made.
We haven't paid off the manifolds.
I'll go hide.
Oh man. But no, I need to get better because I'm really bad at like spending, and like I'm not talking crazy stuff, guys. But I just like when I need something, I just buy it. I've always been that way. Even when I used to be in debt and all that stuff. And even then, like I always justified work tools as like when I was trying to get out of debt, I never considered work tools to be a problem. So I just continued charging work tools.
You know what? Everyone knows Rich from the chat, in the community, right? Rich has always told me tools are a different thing. And you have to look at them like this. If they could make you money, they're worth it.
Sure.
If they're not going to make you money, it's not worth it.
Yep.
Right. So if it's going to sit on a shelf, don't buy it.
So Troy Belding, I disagree. I don't think I overbought my computer. I honestly max that thing out when I am editing my videos. Like I'm sure there's a few things like, I could have skimped on a little bit here and there, but
that's funny.
Look at his screen picture. Where did Bill find a picture of me with a mustache?
That is.
Hey, what up, yo?
What up, Bill? What up,
thought
Turd
I'd come
Chaser?
in as HVACR videos.
I totally got to shave my beard just to piss my wife off and roll with a mustache.
It looks
that
like
is too funny, dude.
That looks funny. That is funny.
That's my favorite picture. I carry that picture in my wallet.
I bet you do.
That picture, the mustache picture, that looks like you look like a French podcast analyst.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I should find the picture when I was shaving my head and my clippers died halfway through. That's a pretty funny one.
Yeah, that
like a crazy person.
That's Cristano. That's right. Laska said that's Cristano.
Cristano.
That's funny. That's my French counterpart.
For a sandwich.
Mike B says 70s porn star. That's exactly it. That is awesome.
I mean, I'd buy a used car from that guy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Actually,
oh man.
Speaking of tools, I know mine broke a long time. A little mini one. I got this. Try it out for the carbon monoxide, just to keep it in your pocket when you go in people's houses. I'm gonna try out the Klein one.
Yeah.
See how this is. It wasn't too bad. It was a pretty good price. We'll try it out.
Terrible.
See what happens. Yeah, it's just
Does it come with a cool case?
It came with the Klein case, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep it in there. But you're right.
What's the? Is that like a low level monitor? Or
Yeah, I think it goes up to maybe 1,000. I can't remember.
what's the lowest number that it reads?
That's a good question. I can't remember. Yeah, that's a good question. But it's good, you know. You go in people's houses.
What about those ones where you can wear around your neck, like the smaller ones, or the ones you like keep in your shirt pocket or anything like that?
Yeah,
you guys ever use those?
Like the personal low level monitors.
I had the UEI. Yeah, I had the UE one. This is supposed to go low. I'm assuming it goes low. I had the UEI one, and that's the one who knows what happened. It just doesn't, I don't know, it didn't look that professional. I
kind of would like, I don't think they make one, but I would like a personal CO2 detector because I work in beer walk-ins a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I walked into one recently and I could hear the CO2 leak, and the manager was just like, oh, I'd kind of like to have a CO2 leak detector working in beer walk-ins all the time.
Right.
So
do they make
I
those?
just realized I never changed my name from when I was chatting earlier, so it still says Butt Nugget, doesn't it?
yeah, but they don't see that for some reason. Adam has the names turned off. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I saw this comment on the screen for some reason. Sorry.
Yeah.
How low. Oh yeah, it goes super low. It goes to 0 to 1 to 1,500, I believe.
So I seen it was interesting, kind of made me laugh. So I had bought that Fluke insulation tester, mega ohm meter, the 1587, and I just seen right now that Klein came out with one. Like it's like $100
really?
that you buy from Home Depot, and I'm like, really? I'm gonna have to buy it just to compare it to I'm sure the tolerances are different and stuff, you know, but the Fluke one's stupid.
Definitely probably a difference in quality.
I kind of want to get, because I was talking to my guys, I'm not going to put 1587 Fluke insulation testers in all my trucks, but I contemplated getting the guys like those Klein ones. I was like, oh, I mean, what's it going to hurt? I was looking at I was looking at the different ones to have. So there's the Supco one, right, that just says good, bad, or better, whatever. But that one's just LED lights. And then Field Piece has one. But I was surprised because I was researching Field Pieces, and as far as I can tell, it only generates 1,000 volts. So the Supco one generates 500 volts, and then the Fluke 1587, you can choose the different voltage ratings. But with the Field Piece one, I was like, dude, if you get on some like the wrong motor and you generate 1,000 volts, you could potentially damage something. So that's.
I was curious, Chris. So as a business owner, what is the extent of tools that you provide for your guys? Like if you're talking about buying them mega ohm meters, like what else do you buy those guys?
Good question.
Well, officially, I buy them major tools, vacuum pumps, recovery machines, scales. The things that the easiest way to say is what they need to provide is like novelty tools, like and basic tool bag with a cordless drill. So they need to bring a tool bag, a cordless drill, and then if they want to have any weird stuff, they can bring their own. But I'll provide everything else. They have to bring their own manifold, though. Like I tell them to bring their own manifold. I try to make them provide like their hand tools because they lose those. So if I'm buying them hand tools all the time, that's a bit ridiculous. But like one of my guys, I bought him the Field Piece job link probes because, you know, he needed them. And I was like, here, you can do that. So it just depends. I don't buy everybody the job link probes, but I have bought them for people in the past. But we try to buy, favorites. We try to buy, you know, as much. But it has to be like, for me, I'll buy stuff because I'm curious about it. And then I find out, oh yeah, that doesn't really work and I don't use it. I don't want to go buy everything for everybody and do that. So, but
it's curious because we were looking at getting a list of, tools that our company provides versus, tools that you would provide. There was a little bit of an issue a while back, but a guy just kind of thought the manifold provided by us. And I was like, you already had some of your own, you know?
Yeah.
So did you guys give our number one fan a shout out?
Oh, see?
No, we didn't. See, Bill's missing and things go down.
Right.
See, I just take a few minutes off the show, and you guys just a train.
We just fall apart.
Exactly.
See, I'm sure Randy and his little buddy Luke are sitting down and watching us right now. Randy's probably snuggled up with his HVAC Overtime hoodie that I sent him, which, by the way, you guys don't already know, we have an HVAC Overtime website. Be sure to go there, buy some of our shit, support the channel, read our bios, shoot us an email, join the Facebook group, all that fun stuff. It's going to be a blast. 2022 is going to be awesome.
Hey, Jason.
I mean, minus the part where like all the celebrities just died this year, but you know.
Yeah, what Meatloaf died today. Rest in peace.
Yeah, my Uncle Meatloaf died.
I don't know. For some,
Well,
who the hell is
I'm not there
Meatloaf? But for
today,
me,
'cause
I
have
remember
to
his songs
mourn
growing up.
loss.
Sorry? Oh.
You know what song he's most famous for, Joe?
And I would do anything for love.
Man, I'm so surprised you know that song.
Of course I do,
So
man.
I do not. When I think of
man.
Meatloaf,
You don't think of
I
that song?
think of him riding a motorcycle through the second-story wall in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
think
knew
when I
you
think of
would.
Meatloaf.
That's right. Hamilton actually briefly was like, you know, he was on an actor too. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So
Oh,
that's
who was
what
You
I
know,
think
now,
of Meatloaf.
thanks to Chris, when I think of Meatloaf from now on to the end of time, I will think of the meme that he sent earlier in our private chat.
Oh,
Oh, actually, a Meatloaf.
I reshared the horrible one. It was a bit too soon.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
That was funny though.
1800 degrees for 20 minutes.
Zip. I was going to say actually, Clive's in chat. He just did a video about a
What's up,
Nest.
Clive?
Yeah, Clive's in chat. About a Nest heat link, and apparently in Europe they have these heat link systems. You get it with the Nest. They're not like the same as the North American version. Anyways, he took it apart, and seeing Clive take it apart, I think it was a diode he took out, some kind of diode. I think that's the second time too he did this. But anyways, makes it look so easy. I just want to do that anytime I have a thermostat problem or something. Doing it myself, and selling them at a half price cost, or just using for backups. Whatever, just for backups, you know what I mean? He makes it look so easy. But it's pretty interesting how the Nest European is different than the Nest North American. And I honestly think Europeans are pretty good. Their controls, all right, guys in chat. But the Nest over here, although I'm not a fan of the Nest, I think it's a little bit better than the European Nest. Just saying.
I think they're all the same, dude. They're all made in the same place. They
Um,
just have
Pretty
different
sure he's
units
right,
in it.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just the way it's made. It's not made like quality-wise. Just the features, I guess, and how it works. Let's say per se.
Maybe there's
seems more
features
easy.
difference, but I mean, really, it's just going to change the
I
measurement
didn't-
units.
I didn't know Joe was racist towards thermostats, too.
Joe's racist towards everybody.
Oh my
Joe doesn't like anybody but the four of us, and that's it. Period.
True.
That's fair.
And-
I wouldn't even use that word, though.
And the guys in chat. And the
On
people in chat.
Thursdays, he doesn't like me, guys.
No.
Thursdays? Why Thursdays?
I don't know. I was trying to
2-point
figure
Joe
it out
day.
for myself.
Oh, hey, by the way, all you guys listening or watching, don't forget, go to the website, like I said earlier, but we have a new design on the
Oh,
website, a
no.
new shirt design, the 2-point Joe t-shirt.
I can't believe you guys.
Go
Yep.
there, look at the shirt on the back, VIOYA, blow it out your ass.
I got
Buy
that.
one for you, buy one
I
for
got
your
that
mom.
from Ted Cook, paying homage to anti DIY there,
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
with a picture of a blower door.
So Ted, if you're watching, blow it
I
out your
wonder-
ass.
I wonder if Ted Cook ever used a blower door or anything like along those lines. Anyways.
Anyways,
Yeah. So is Clive going to come up? I think. Or did we send him a link? Clive could come up to fill
if
in.
he's interested, we sent you a link, Clive. So I don't know
Come
if you're
on up if you
interested,
want
but
So anything interesting this week at all, or
I mean, just normal service calls, nothing like crazy. I wrapped up a bunch of service calls this week, trying to kind of get ready for AHR next week. So I'm taking a couple days off. So been just trying to dial things in and get things settled down a bit. But I can't. I'm trying to think if there was anything memorable this week. What did I tell you guys about? I don't think there was anything that I had memorable. Besides, oh wait, I was really frustrated when I called someone. Who was it? Tech support.
Me,
What did I talk about, Bill? I called you talking about something.
yeah,
I
you
was-
called because you had an issue with tech support on that exhaust fan because you were trying to set up the.
Oh, yeah.
the-
Yeah, so I was dealing with a exhaust fan, and we're gonna not name the company because I don't want to be a jerk, but they really irritated me. So I had to set up a VFD for a fancy exhaust system, and when I called tech support, they were just kind of like, well, you know, when I said, hey, what's the maximum speed I can run this exhaust fan at? Because I know that there's a maximum speed. And he's like, well, you know, we just base it off of the motor horsepower. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Or I mean, motor current. And I go, no, that's not how that works. I said, you need to be able to tell me how fast this fan can run. And he was just like, well, I think you should be good if you set it here. And I go, think is not like, no, when I call you guys, I need you to tell me the maximum speed I can run this fan at, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know? And I was really irritated that they didn't have answers for me, and it just pissed me off. And yeah, that's what I called and vented to Bill about. So
Nice.
So here's
Did you?
Sorry, Bill. I just pulled up the 2 Point Joe shirt.
Oh yeah. Hey, flip it around and show the backside. That's what
That
I
is
tell my wife, by the
hilarious.
way.
That is
Yeah.
hilarious.
did you get permission
Yeah.
from Retrotech to put their name on your shirt?
Is it
We
on there?
don't need no
The
stinking
technical, I
permission.
mean,
Dude, they should be happy.
Yes and
Cease
no.
and
I mean,
desist letter right there.
Sam sent me. I asked Sam for the graphic. Hey, Sam, do you got a graphic?
Yeah,
send it over.
Sam.
I mean, he sent it to me. He didn't
Yeah.
ask what it was for.
That's how we get
I don't-
away with things, eh? Oh my
I don't see a little R with a circle on there, so
Yeah.
we're good.
We're helping promote the cause.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they should be
Jason
thanking us.
Johnson's in there naming the exhaust fan company. How the hell did you know I ran into that problem? Jason was part of my conversation.
Energy
Oh,
from-
man.
So did you end up getting that issue resolved, Chris? Did you?
No. The only solution I had was, yeah, you should be able to run it at that current.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so at what point is the wheel going to just separate because it's running way the heck too fast? You should be okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Come on, you know.
Yeah.
It's a giant cluster F, this particular customer, because I've made a video about it before, but long story short, the customer's grease duct, the exhaust duct, is too small, and they all know that. I've had myself verify it and the manufacturer verified that the customer needs to replace the ductwork. It's way too small, and no matter with the existing exhaust fan they shipped out, it couldn't pull enough through the ductwork because it was running way too high static pressure. So they put bigger motors on it, and then a bigger motor failed. So then I had to put a temporary replacement in there, and it was just back and forth. So I kind of despise some of these things we have to do to some of these controls, you know, with the VFDs and stuff. Like, I appreciate the technology and I think it's really cool, but the problem is when it fails and I don't have the manufacturer on the phone with me and I'm trying to set it up, it's frustrating, you know, or when you have to wait on hold for an hour to get a hold of the manufacturer, and it's like, you know, that's kind of frustrating, but it's happening with everybody.
Cool.
Man, you know, speaking of being a dumbass, I had a dumbass issue today. Kind of came back at me and made me feel real stupid. Really humbled me. Tell you what.
You gonna share that or no?
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's all you wanted to say, is that
Okay.
it humbled you? What's up, Clive?
Hey, Clive.
How you
Tis
doing?
I.
How are
Look at
you?
that.
All
Before
right, indeed.
before I forget, Clive, because you could talk about that Nest and explain it in better terms. Guy asked about those energy wheels. Does anybody have any experience in those? It's been so. I went with a guy once. It's basically, I would say it's more like it was one on an Aeon. I would think it's a commercial size HRV for a rooftop. Honestly, if you ask me what it is, it's really removing the heat energy and putting it outside, and it has a bypass inside the middle of the rooftop, and that's pretty much what it is. I think it's a big ERV. Let me rephrase that: big ERV, not HRV.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. No, somebody
I'm
asked
just
about.
pretty lost here.
Yeah, don't worry
But that's okay.
about this energy wheel. I think that's what he's talking about. I never work on them, but
So what happened with this Nest, Clive?
The Nest, the two Nest thermostats, they both had the common problem, a failed diode on the little sort of the bit that converts the 240 volts to a 12 volt rail. And it's interesting because there seems to be a pattern of these units are basically they're the interface to the 240 volt control systems that we use. So they have isolated relays on them. And it's got a 12 volt output that goes to the remote little LCD display. You can either use it locally with a USB supply, or you can actually use the existing thermostat wiring for it. But it seems like the ones that use that 12-volt external wiring, I'm wondering if it's electrostatic discharge or something, but it's actually knocking out the diode in the power supply. And when that happens, it just kills the whole unit. But it's just it's a really cheap component. It's like 50p or something like that. But they're getting so many recalls of these units. It's really awkward.
So how does that work? It's you're sending high voltage to the thermostat, and there's a relay. It's got to be a pretty dang small relay inside the thermostat.
It is quite a small relay. I could go and get one and show you roughly what they look like. Hold on.
So
I have a dumb question real quick. Did he say, it's kind of been cutting out a little bit of my end because I'm driving, but did he say that those thermostats were powered with 240 volts?
They're controlling to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't you're right, Jason. It's like a Desknet wheel. Exactly. And I wouldn't use absorbs, to be honest. It's adsorbs. It carries it. It doesn't absorb it. It just carries it.
Yeah,
it's almost
not
like
a chemical process.
Right. It's like a filter dryer. That's why they say, guys, not to sweat them. Oh,
you know what's funny, Joe?
Yeah.
You know what's funny, Joe? Is I literally just downloaded some information from RSES about desiccant. I was reading it and actually had a little bit of a conversation with Trevor about this very same thing early this morning at 6:30 with
no way.
Coffee with Trevor. Yeah. And then that's the only reason I just had that at the top of my mind.
I'm jealous of you, Bill, because you're hanging out with my new friend Trevor, and I don't like when you spend time with him when I don't get the opportunity. But you know,
and I tell you, it's been life changing. The little bit of time I've had with Trevor, he's like the nicest person, so motivating. Like I feel so much better about myself just from a half hour talking with him. Like I'm a changed man right now. I'm a changed man.
Yeah, it's good that he mentioned that, and you're talking about it as well, because a lot of guys don't know that there's a difference between absorbs and adsorbs, and what's in those things, and why does it do it, and how does it do it. And it's the same thing that's in your filter dryers, like I said, and that's why you can't sweat them out, because you will release those whatever that's moisture is in those that it's holding. But anyways,
and did you know that there used to be a procedure where you would take dryers that maybe have had contact with moisture or somehow had moisture in the system, and they would bake them to try to get the moisture out of the dryer and then reuse that dryer. Obviously,
it's a stupid
idea, but
no,
they would.
That sounds a bit much.
Try to get it's like, who's gonna do that? Like, hold on, you need a new dryer. Let me take it home, put it in my oven. I'll be back in a couple hours. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the same people that try to put videos with they don't speak English. But go ahead. What's up, Clive?
That makes sense.
The thing is, you're talking about the dryers. Are they the ones that are packed with silica gel?
Yeah, it's like that's whatever.
Well, there's different types.
Yeah.
So there's the Sporlan ones use desiccant, which absorbs the moisture. It's like a solid core. It's glued together. Then there's other manufacturers that use like tiny beads. I don't know if it's silica gel though, but they use like tiny beads, and those beads can blow out in the system. It's kind of a mess, but different manufacturers use different things in their dryers. The biggest thing is they need to be able to withstand the heat. That's one of the big issues, because when you have high condensing temperatures, there's a lot of heat going through that dryer, and you could run into some serious issues with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, wasn't there I don't remember which manufacturer it was, but I thought I heard of a particular manufacturer that had a problem with the dryer's desiccant beads having like a excess amount of dust that would kind of shake off the desiccant beads and get into the system and clog up all sorts of things.
I've never heard of that. I've heard of dryers being installed. Well, actually, you've seen one before being installed on a discharge line, and the desiccant beads blow out and go throughout the entire system. But no, I've never heard of the excess dust being on them.
Maybe I just thought of that.
Maybe that's why they usually use a desiccant. And John Key put in chat activated alumina. Something like I remember a name alumina. I thought it was like soda.
Oh yeah, I
aluminum.
remember reading about that.
Yeah, but anyways, pretty cool.
Sometimes the silica gel beads, when they get really wet, they can crack, they can shatter into little bits. It seems to change their structure. I wonder if that causes problems. But certainly with silica gel desiccant packs, you can bake them in an oven, and it drives all the moisture out, and it basically recharges them. but it's not
Those little
necessarily.
packs that come in everything that we buy.
Yes, they are. Yep.
I'd say do not eat, but I've always been curious.
Yeah, but I don't think it would kill you if you eat them. But I'm not actually suggesting you eat them.
Or
Yeah.
how about we all been there? You're on a rooftop. You're trying to change out compressor or a filter dryer.
And your tummy
And-
hurts. You're hungry.
No, you're telling your helper, don't take out the caps yet. Don't open it yet.
Oh, I don't know.
I remember
about all that.
I've been told that. I remember when I first started.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I understand that you need to be careful in systems and stuff, but like, I don't know if people tend to freak out a bit too much. Now, I understand if you're in a moist climate, if it's raining
Right.
outside, yeah, don't take the caps off the dryer. But people bitch at me because there's times that you have to unsweat a dryer. Don't ever unsweat a dryer.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah.
release the moisture in the system. Dude, come on. I'm going
I
to
know.
pull a vacuum, purge with nitrogen. Who
Right.
cares if I release
Me
a little
either.
moisture in the
Exactly.
system?
See,
Dude?
but I like to blow through the dryer just to make sure I got the direction and going in the right direction.
Sure. Yeah.
And you blow all the moisture into it.
I don't know. I have pretty dry breath, I think. So
I'm pretty confident that a dryer can be running either way, so you can blow through a dryer even if it goes the wrong way, bro.
so I've been blowing it all wrong all these
Yes,
years.
the only difference
Komodo breath, you know? Come on.
Man.
on a Sporlan dryer, so this is a Sporlan dryer right here. You can't see this, Bill, but on a Sporlan dryer, the only major difference between the inlet and the outlet is on the outlet, there's a filter. So like there's a screen to catch any, so it goes through the desiccant and then there's an extra filter, like a cotton filter there to catch anything else, any debris. So if you push it the other way, theoretically, I guess you could break the desiccant apart or something, but I mean, it's still going to flow through the dryer. It's just not going to flow right. It's going to plug up the wrong side of the dryer. It's still going to flow through though. I actually have a video. I haven't released it, or no, I think I did a while back, but I have a dryer that's been installed on a system backwards for many years, and the customer hasn't wanted to fix it. It works fine. It just doesn't filter as much. So
I've made apprentices unsweat them and sweat them in correctly when they've done it backwards.
well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for putting them in backwards. It's not going to work right, but like it should. It'll probably plug up faster or something. But no, I would definitely, if you do it on install and you see it backwards, heck yeah. But
So let's see this nest, Clive.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I was in the middle of pouring a rum.
you're pouring your cheap rum, by the way.
My cheap rum. My very cheap rum. The nest, when you take the cover off, it's got the usual little thing that you loosen a screw and it hinges up. It has the mains in, then it's got two relays. I think they're programmable functions, but they're volt-free contacts on them. So one of the common mistakes is when things don't work, people forget to loop the wires across. It's also, annoyingly with these, it's got tiny wee holes, and you're groping around inside trying to get them into the terminals in the circuit board. So apparently it is a common thing that if people put the stranded wires in without a ferrule on the end, it actually splays inside and it can short out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
George
But you
Michael
get-
Whiskers.
That's it, the careless whiskers indeed. But there's behind this, I've suddenly realised that to actually show you the relays themselves, but they're quite small relays. There are two small relays directly behind these two sets of terminals here, and then the 12 volt out to the external thermostat, which is a sort of 12 volt bus, but it communicates back wirelessly, I believe.
So
And
that gets mounted by your boiler or by a
Yeah,
furnace?
this
or
gets mounted to keep the wiring as short as possible. This gets mounted next to the boiler, the furnace. And the standard fix, apparently the standard diagnostic technique, someone was mentioning this recently, is that if the relay jams, like one of the relays sticks on, something's not turning off, give it the quick tap.
Mhm.
And that usually knocks the contacts apart. And it's not a permanent fix, but it will get it going, and then you kind of get the replacement.
Yeah.
Now you're saying, I remember you saying in the video, you're surprised because a cheap like air freshener had 2 diodes in series. I know it heats up or something like you were saying, but it's more redundant. So if one does fail, the other one would.
Yeah, that it would just kick in. And there were different diodes as well. But that made me think I was thinking there was another thing I looked at that had 3 diodes. And it turned out to be another heating controller, because I remembered I saw one of my own videos pop up and thought, that's the one. And I was trying to think, why are there 3 diodes in series? And it was just built-in mega redundancy because they didn't want one diode bringing the whole product back and costing all the recall costs.
I'm surprised they didn't do that. At least put 2 or something. Like, why just one? Because that one just had one, right, Clive?
Traditionally, you would just normally use one, but it's just they've obviously kind of like, learned the hard way this time.
Right.
It's very strange.
Isn't this the second one you did, or am I wrong?
It is, and there's apparently a whole load more to take a look at. But I got the correct diodes from CPC in the UK, although they didn't have many in stock. That's probably because they're popular. So I got a pack of 4 little diodes that just are the correct ones, but a slightly higher voltage rating, just to see if that fixes it.
Gotcha. That's a good, cool little project.
Hey, Clive, speaking of diodes, I had a question for you. I'm pretty sure I asked you this question before, so I apologize for sounding stupid right off the bat. I had another microwave incident over the past week, and what had happened was one of these diodes in this commercial microwave is connected directly to the capacitor, and it goes from the capacitor to, it looks like it just goes straight to the wall of the control cavity, and it was broken. And whenever the unit would run, it would just kind of spark right there where the diode had I guess the wire had broken. So I don't understand why that diode is connected from the capacitor to the chassis.
The secondary side of the microwave transformer is actually referenced to ground. There's one side is a high voltage, the other side is referenced to ground, and the diode is usually used to double the voltage from the transformer with the capacitor. Pretty sure.
Damn, he always has the answers.
Yeah.
He's like right there. He's like, so normal protocol for microwaves are.
Yeah. Just one thing I just want to say, I've said it every time, when you work with microwaves, proceed with extreme caution. Assume that capacitor inside them has not discharged properly, and use proper, like, mega well-insulated stuff to short it out, because microwave oven transformers are killers. They're really dangerous.
Ouch.
And if that capacitor holds a decent charge, it holds more voltage than a defibrillator that's designed to stop your heart.
Well, the transformer in this thing, I kid you not, weighs 35 pounds. It's the biggest transformer I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's cranking out some juice, that's for sure.
Yep. Just always when you're working them, just keep in mind that it will instantly kill you. It's like working with overhead line voltages, and it'll put a lot of current through you. It's worth mentioning that.
Absolutely. So like the capacitor.
Well, you know what's scary now that you mentioned that is that this microwave has been sparking for like a week, and they've just been using it. They just keep using it, and it's shooting sparks out the side from where this diode is breaking down. And
what is wrong with them?
I was like, shut that down right now.
That's normal in the catering industry. They just keep using stuff when there's flames coming out of it.
So this reminds me again, because I always take it back to movies. The movie The Last House on the Left. There's a deleted scene at the end of that movie where the dad gets his revenge and tampers with the door switch on the microwave, and then he puts the dude's head in the microwave and then watches it cook and explode.
Oh, great.
Love that scene in that movie.
See, that is movie exaggeration, really, but not to worry, it's what happens.
But I imagine that it would fry your brain, right? I don't know that your head would explode, but I imagine it would do some crazy crap to your head, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because sometimes if you open the cavity of a microwave, sometimes it can interfere with the ability of the magnetron to even sort of resonate. I'm not sure how reliable it'll actually be with the door open. But the biggest hazard is that it will make your eyes actually cloud like white of egg going milky, which is not so great. Because it damages your eyes quite quickly.
You know this because...
No, I just looked it up. That's what happened to all the people I stuck their heads into the microwave.
See, when I was a kid, I put a kitten in the microwave for about 15 seconds because somehow my kid and I had at the time got
Dude, are you bullshitting me right now, or are you serious?
He's not. He's a rocker buddy, bud.
1,000% serious. So, and my cat's name was Angus, after the guitarist for AC/DC, right? And when I was a kid, I ran outside. I got it back. It was cold. It was wet. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just put it in the microwave for 15 seconds to warm it up like I do everything else, like hot dogs.
What the fuck?
And then I kid you, it didn't die or nothing, but I kid you not, for the rest of its life, like that cat was somehow smarter than all the other cats. It stand on its hind legs, like it knew stuff. Like that, if you want to make your cat smart, put it in the microwave for like 15 seconds. That's all you need.
Disclaimer: please do not do that.
1000% legit.
Only on overtime, man. Oh my god.
Clive is never coming on the show again.
You just
Yeah, it's kitty cruelty. Although keep in mind that microwaves were originally used to defrost animals for scientific research. Like they were to reincarnate animals. It's got a weird history.
yeah.
Well, I had a
Oh my
microwave
God.
story, but I don't think I could top that. So I'm just
Oh my gosh, dude. No.
I don't think we want
that
to.
reminds me of
actually.
the Punky Brewster episode where the little boy got locked in the freezer and he died.
Oh, my God. You know, Chris says about, or Adam, you said about Clive having the answer. Look at Chris with his movies. Holy, he could just
TV
bang,
shows
bang,
and
bang.
movies. I just remember random crap. I remember an episode of Punky Brewster where there was, and it doesn't make any sense, but there was a refrigerator out in the backyard and the little kid was playing hide and seek and he got in it. And then they couldn't find him. And later they opened the freezer and he was all blue, like standing there.
Oh my god, that's so much worse than my story.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Bill put the microwave. He set it to defrost.
Yeah, you know, that's okay. You know, it's defrosting. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at least the cat wasn't dead like in Chris's story.
This makes me think of an old guy who died, and he had a storage unit, and they found a freezer in the storage unit, and it is his dead wife in it because she'd gone missing. And what he'd actually done, he put this freezer in and put her in, so she kept kind of like, well, it was getting rid of the body, and that was it. It was only after he died that they found that he'd disposed of the body in a freezer.
What I can't think, someone in the chat can help me out. I'm thinking of another movie too. It was like a torture scene, and it was a girl who was torturing her sister's like murderer or something like that, and she made the guy think that she was cutting his balls off, but she wasn't. But she had like a camera showing a procedure, and she had the dude like anesthetized so he couldn't feel anything, so he thought his balls were getting cut off, but they really weren't. It was like a psychological mind fuck. But I can't think of what the movie was called. That was a good one though.
Was it on Pornhub?
No, it was not on Pornhub, Laska.
To clear that. Okay.
Why does so here's a scientific question about microwaves. Why is it that you're not supposed to put metal in a microwave? What happens?
It sparks. Ask me how I
Microwaves
know.
collide.
A microwave, the wavelength, the 2.4 gigahertz they normally use, is quite a long wave. It's actually about 4 inches long, and it induces voltage across that distance. So that's why if you put like metal in, it can actually arc across either. If you've got a semiconductor material, it'll actually arc across it directly. But if you've got other bits together, it will induce enough voltage across that it does cause the sparking. It's even better. Get a cork, right, and stick a toothpick in it, light the toothpick, and place it in while it's lit and power it up. It's amazing. The flame, because it's got the carbon particles in it, just turns into plasma balls.
Really?
Mm.
Joe,
That's
good
great.
do that.
I will try that one day.
Plasma balls.
Somebody, Jason keeps on saying magnetron. Is that what it's called? A magnetron?
Yeah, magnetron. And the movie's called Hard Candy, where the girl fakes to cut the dude's balls off. I just looked it up.
Wait,
Hard
the movie is called Magnetron?
No, Hard
What?
Candy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry,
Magnetron's a transformer, I think, Bill. I think they're saying, right?
No, Magnetron is in microwave. That's
Bill.
why.
Oh,
Hey, Bill,
Yo,
did your parents know you put the cat in the microwave?
I don't think so. I think they probably would have frowned upon that.
yeah. How long did you put it in for?
About 15 seconds.
Did it have to rotate? Was the cat like?
And
around in circles?
Yeah, no, it rotated. Yeah, it rotated.
was the cat warm to the touch when you took her out?
Good
See, that I don't remember. Well, you got to think about it too, because microwaves heat it from the inside out, so its insides were probably warm.
Mm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to get off that.
Throw a
cruelty, but-
single grape in the microwave and watch what happens.
That's
Is
like
it
a
gonna
sign of a serial killer.
Is it going to shrink it? I'm confused.
It is a sign of a serial killer.
The grape will arc across because I guess it's because it's conductive because of all the acid. That if you split a grape, it induces voltage across and it arcs across between it.
Interesting. Okay.
Adam, you had you posted something about that call there, and I would never ever work on a unit that's on the wall of a whatever story side building. I don't know how you could do that. It's like a nightmare, and I don't even know why that's in Illinois. Like, how is that even happening?
Here's the thing: there's all kinds of high-rise buildings like that in Chicago, and they're along the lake, and they're like old 100-year-old buildings, and they're extremely expensive. So these people pay stupid prices to add air conditioning to these buildings. And I've never actually, I'll take that back. I've done it once. I put a 3-zone mini split in, and I was working off of a fire. I got to find the picture. I was working off of a fire escape, and it was 15 floors up, and it was terrifying. And I wanted to like duct tape all my tools to my hands because I'm like, I'm going to drop something. You know what I mean? Like, just the simplest thing of dropping a tool is awful. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So we actually had somebody rope out the area underneath. I had a custom rack made out of expanded steel and angle iron, all welded together with studs, and we bolted it through the wall with 1/2-inch threaded rod in 3 places on each side. And then, it's bolted in. But that sucked. I hated that job. But I talked to people after that, and they're like, yeah, when we add air conditioning to a building like that, we charge like 60, 70 grand.
What?
Just for like 1 unit apartment.
Just because of the drama they have to go through to do it. Yeah. So there's a comment Pub Chat asked in the chat. He said, what are some of the issues you can cause by reducing gas pressure too much in heating? Off the top of my head, I mean, lost efficiency, right? And then potential loss of flame. Like, what other problems?
So
too low gas
I think you could have potential. I mean, I've heard you could soot up a heat exchanger by doing that. I don't think I've ever seen it in like a newer furnace, like an induced draft furnace, where you change the chemistry. I'm not a professional on combustion, you know.
Oh, you're right.
I really like to take an NCI class, to be honest with you. I've been waiting for one to come around. But you change the chemistry of the combustion. What happens is if it starts running lean. You have too much oxygen as a byproduct, and you start producing too much carbon monoxide.
This would assume that the induced draft motor is still pulling the same volume of air across there, but you're not putting enough gas in there, so you have too much oxygen, and that's where you would potentially cause some sort of a.
I believe that if you run a gas appliance too lean, you produce too much carbon monoxide. If you also run it too rich, you also produce too much carbon monoxide.
Okay.
On either side of it.
Both ways, yeah.
I would have thought if the flame was burning dirty, if it was like really sort of yellow and sooty, that's when you'd get most of the carbon monoxide.
Which will happen. Sure. Yeah. And somebody just said, what do you use when you're using or people in the chat, what do you guys use for CO reading? The CO or CO free?
But do you know the difference, Joe?
Yes. One of them, CO free, is without oxygen, I believe.
So the CO free is a calculated reading, I believe, right? It's basically extrapolating your data that it's giving you and saying this is how much carbon monoxide if there was nothing else in there. No other byproducts of the combustion. But CO is the real measurement of what's in the combustion.
And I think they both will work. It's not like you don't have to. It's not like one of them's bad and one of them's good. They both will work. Fuck. They're gonna be maybe a little off for each other. Maybe
CO free is always higher.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to try. Sorry.
So this, no, I'll let you finish this. I was going to go back to this of combustion of low flow of gas and stuff like that, but I'll let you guys finish talking about your carbon monoxide.
Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert in your systems because we use this of like a completely different systems over here. But I see your little burners where you've got the gas jet going into basically the air tube, and it seems that the gas itself carries the oxygen in the correct ratio. Or is it assisted? So surely if there was lower gas pressure, it would just take in less oxygen, less air.
Well, the systems that we're talking about, we have an induced draft motor that's pulling air through there at a constant speed.
Right.
It's got a fan wheel on it, and it's drawing air in as you're firing the gas in there. So it creates, if you have that air and the right amount of gas pressure, I'm assuming, maybe I'm saying this correct, but you're going to create the proper mixture. So you're constantly pulling the same volume of air through there because of the induced draft motor. That's a constant speed.
And like
That's
Howard
a good
Sharp,
answer for somebody that doesn't work on heat.
yeah, that's awesome.
I understand concepts of it.
And Howard Sharp nailed it too. It's in the Venturi, which does all that.
The Venturi happens from the nozzle where the gas goes in there, right? Because it actually spins the flame as it's going through, and then they'll put the baffles in there too to kind of slow down the flame, right? To keep it flowing through at the right rate. Would that be correct too?
I don't think they all have baffles. Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Hey, that brings up a question that I have for you guys, because I don't really know the answer, or remember the answer rather. The turbulators that are on heat exchangers in like rooftop package units.
That's the baffles I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so. Those stupid little strips with like zigzags in them or whatever.
Yeah. And that's impressive, Chris. You don't even have heaters in California.
I know a little bit about a lot.
Do you see this? You see?
So you did one of those mini splits. Where did you take your sandals? Like, did you have your sandals on when you were climbing 7 ladders together with the mini split on your shoulder?
This was taken. This picture was taken from the ground, completely zoomed in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine
That's a
that.
tall building then.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's a
you
whole lot of notes.
totally did that in your sandals and your burqa. And
I'm gonna find a better. I have a better picture.
That
for
is
you.
scary, man. Like, I don't know, man.
According to all the other European pictures, you're supposed to hang out the window to do it, aren't you? And have someone hold you onto your legs.
No, you need to look at the
India
pictures.
Oh, remember that bracket that we custom made?
No.
Yeah, the one you were saying, yeah.
Well, that's it, dude. Why would you show that? Freaking OSHA. OSHA
He said, "Why does he
right
show
there.
that?" Oh wow! But you rested the unit on top of that too,
Dude,
right?
you're tied. Like, come on, take that off the screen and delete this.
Oh, he's tied.
You're tied off with a freaking nylon rope, bro.
That's not very good fall protection.
I'm not saying I haven't done that. I'm not saying I've never tied myself off to a gas line with a nylon rope.
That was not me. That was not me who did that. Let me tell you the story behind that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
This is the guy in charge of the build on this place. And we were able to I rigged up this device where I was able to drill everything from the window. The bars that we drilled through actually came up quite high. And we were able to drill with a right angle hammer drill all the way through the building. And I could get everything bolted through except the bottom one on the far side. And this guy was like, "I'm going to do it." And I said, "Don't do it. We already have 5 of them in there. We don't need the 6th one. We're good." And he's like, "No, we need the last one." I'm like, "Dude, this mini split doesn't weigh anything. We're fine. It's bolted all the way through the building." He's like, "No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tie off." And he did it. And I'm hold on. I'm going to take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Maybe say I didn't tell him to do it.
I mean, I know he's tied off, but I don't know if OSHA's going to approve in that setup right there because, whatever. But
Kitten cooking and OSHA violations. I love this live stream. HVAC
kitten cooking and OSHA violation.
Oh man,
Bill, this is funny. Like, none of us, right? We're all here. Well, no, I take that back. 2 of you have met, but most of us have never met. Even Clive, right? But every time we have a conversation, a little bit more comes out, and it just kind of blows our mind when we do stupid crap.
That's the view from the window.
That's pretty cool.
That is terrifying, man.
it is. That's nightmare.
That doesn't scare me. Like, it genuinely doesn't.
Oh man, I am deathly terrified of heights over a certain height, like
a very
25 foot. No.
Guess you guys didn't know that, eh, guys? Bill is afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not gonna do it. That's why it's so bad because I'm so tall. Like, even when I stand up, I get scared. It's like, oh, my head's so high off the ground.
I can remember there was a guy that we hired many, many years ago. He doesn't work for us anymore. And we asked him, like, "Do you have any problems with heights or anything like that?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm good." Okay, cool. And he went to go climb an extension ladder, and you can clearly tell he had never been on an extension ladder in his life. He was hugging that thing and climbing up like one tiny step at a time. And I'm like, hey, dude, what are you doing here, bud? He's like, I'm almost there. I'm like, dude, you're taking 10 minutes to climb a 12-foot ladder.
He was trying to maintain 3 points of contact.
Yeah, good gosh, man. How do I get off the ladder maintaining 3 points of contact at all times? Yeah, you don't. Just fucking step off the ladder, dude. Take the trust.
You know, Jason in chat says window washers in high-rise buildings have steel balls. No thanks. Honestly, every time I see those guys, if I'm going in and out of buildings, I have to acknowledge them. I have to say, you guys have big balls because I can never do that.
Have you ever seen the guys that are not on like the scaffolding?
The single ones.
The guys that are on like a swing?
Nuts.
Oh man, F that all day long. F that right in the face.
Clive, Clive, I don't know if you ever cheers to them on your show, but I think you should cheers to those guys. Window cleaners.
In Glasgow, they used to have the tenement window cleaners, like professional cleaning companies, but the guys used to actually walk along the ledges outside with absolutely no full arrest equipment up like 5 floors high. And it was like, you're looking up at them and thinking, I'm really surprised they don't fall.
Oh my God.
You know, I mean, but when you think about it, like, as corny as this sounds, the guys who built our country and the infrastructure in most countries literally did that. The old iron workers would walk on those beams, freaking building the Empire State Building. You see the pictures of the dudes all just chilling out on the beam, eating lunch and crap. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why we have regulations and OSHA and all these different places. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, when do you let people just kind of do their thing? You know, like,
the safety has actually stripped a lot of the fun out of work.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people were dying in the day, I think, there, Chris. As well.
I don't know how many. I mean, I don't know. I mean, genuinely, I'd like to know, like, how many people truly did die.
From what I know, like, I think I could be wrong, but see, when they were building the CN Tower, I think they have a thing like from all the people that died making that. I believe.
But dude, when was the CN Tower built? We're talking the Empire State Building. That was built in the 30s.
I have no idea, dude.
You're talking 1920s, 1930s, or I would guess. I don't know when the Empire State Building was built, but I mean, we're talking like before technology. These dudes had balls of steel. They were literally going up, climbing, walking across the beams. No fall protection. They were just, you know,
can't even imagine that.
They were men.
I know.
And the ex HVAC YouTuber Mike Paulus, he got out of HVAC, and now he does something like satellite internet. And he says he installs.
Can we talk about? We don't need to talk about his drama.
But he climbs towers and he mounts these things, and that's what he does for a job now. And he sells.
I wonder if he wears sweatpants while he does it.
And probably Crocs.
Good point there, bro.
You should buy his book.
He has a book.
Yeah, he's got a book that explains
his life,
like how to hold up sweatpants when the elastic fails.
Yeah. Oh, how do you guys?
I don't know if I want to go there, but just look up Mike Pallas' book. Just look it up, and it'll explain to you why he wrote a book, because it's explaining why he was wrongly convicted.
Oh my!
Just research it. You'll figure it out on your own.
This is a dark episode.
How
did we get to this point, guys?
I don't know.
You
started with being afraid of heights.
It's because Bill didn't start the show, and I started the show, and then it just went downhill.
Yeah.
RJ Parker, good to see you. He says 14 died on the Empire State Building. Anybody know how many Canadians died on the CN Tower?
Actually, not as many as I would have expected.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of it, and you think, I mean, and I know a bunch of people died doing the Hoover Dam too, but in the grand scheme of things, like, that's one too many people. I mean, you know, whatever, but still, like,
God forbid one happens nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
But do you know why there are no pictures of people actually falling? It's because the cameras take really long exposures back then, and it would just blur.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
That's horrible.
Never thought about that.
I do have to say that, like, one of the again, since we're going dark on this, like, you know, with my kids and stuff, recently we had watched like a documentary on 9/11, and the scariest thing about 9/11 is the thuds when you're watching the documentary. And you just hear the boom on the roof of the building. You just hear the boom, and you're like, what the hell is that noise? And it's people jumping.
Oh man,
That's some twisted shit. Like,
raining men.
And that was before the towers collapsed. Like, oh my gosh, people were jumping. Ugh, scary ass crap, man.
Yeah, that was a tough situation.
Yep. Yep. Well, I think it's time we wrap this up, guys. We've been going for a while. We definitely took it down a dark path. So
The darkest.
Everything
Darkest.
goes. Everything goes, buddy.
Someone chilled guy said only one person died building the CN Tower. don't know
Oh,
if
I
that's
thought
true,
there was
but-
more. Oh, that's awesome, Jason.
That's all
Well-
right. That is good.
Thank you everybody for coming to the show. I will not be on the show next Friday.
What?
So,
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I will be.
I
at
didn't get the
AHR trade
document.
So if y'all
Right.
are going to be going to the AHR trade show, definitely come see me.
Uh,
I will
the
be going
app-
out Friday night to hang out with my wife. We'll be in Vegas Friday and Saturday, and then we do all the AHR festivities Sunday through the rest of the week.
Can't you do the ass hat reunion some other time?
Nope. So Sunday I have the HVAC tactical event where they're doing like a big banquet dinner and stuff Sunday night. Monday I'm going to be at the Spoiling booth, the Refrigeration Technologies booth. Tuesday the same thing. If you guys are going to be at the show, message me on social media, find me. I'll have giveaways and all that good crap.
But don't look him in the eye. He is a handler.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
I will have my handler Scott. Scott will be there, and Scott will be the barrier between everybody. He'll make sure that the common folk do not come near me.
The common folk.
You, can,
Awesome.
you have to squat down in all the pictures so Chris looks taller than you because he likes to have that little bit of boost in his ego.
Jason Johnson says I'm going to Vegas for the midget clown porn convention.
That's a good
That's
tip.
a pretty good. That's a good convention to go to Vegas for. So
Oh,
Something different. Something different.
Yep.
yeah.
All right, guys.
let's wrap it.
Don't microwave your cats.
Yeah,
Please
please
don't.
don't.
Wrap it before you smack it.
Oops, caps.
Well, that was a interesting one.
Yeah.
Ah,
Every time we see Bill, we're gonna say meow now. That's
Oh
the
my
new thing.
God.
Meow.
What are you doing, meow?
Meow.
Should it be? Shouldn't it be meow 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 meow? Sing.
Yeah. We got a Super Troopers reference right here. Right. Meow.
Hey, Bill. Bill.
Hey, what's your favorite line of the baseball song? Kick me out. Kick me out.
Does that mean it's a meow
The ball
croway?
game. The meow. Oh, that's the best one of the night. The meow.
I don't have any cat puns. I'm just not good with cats.
How's the cat doing meow?
He's dead.
Can I say? I thought the iron workers in America still walk the beams.
I'm sure they do, but I'm sure they have a million different safety harnesses now.
Yeah, but here in the UK, it's all cherry pickers. It's like they really don't like it when you walk the beams at all.
Mm.
I think up to a certain
Magnetic
extent.
shoes.
I think iron
Yeah.
workers have balls of steel for sure. Even the new ones,
Yeah.
even today, like they still, that's nuts.